ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 3G Theater, where the magic of the silver screen meets the charm of Fallout. Broadcasting to you from the heart of Charleston. We're here to take you on a delightful journey. Now let's meet our host.
Welcome back, everybody, and it is week 3 of the top 5 intermediate. Now, man, the fly on the wall. We've got new building mechanics that are going to be coming into the game, and it's phenomenal, but there is one problem with it. So, the one problem that we do have is that the top 5 in contests, stuff like that in the past, has always been merit based. It's been based on your knowledge and your skill and your creativity to be able to pull off these miraculous things, and it's a lot of dedication, patience, time, and effort. And now, with the new building restrictions being loosened up so much, you can take all that knowledge, skill, everything that it took some people 6-7 years to develop and throw it in the trash. So it is kind of controversial for some people, and I know that some of the OG builders are not going to be building anymore because it's just not rewarding. I understand that from a certain perspective, but the top 5 will continue. It's just going to evolve. We're going to have to look at things a little bit differently, and it's going to be about your creativity in the way that you're telling your story that you're representing in your build. So that is something to keep in mind in the future, because the top 5, as we know it, the way that it used to be based, which was knowledge, skill, and creativity, is going to die, unfortunately. And that's just evolution, you know. We've got to adapt, evolve, and move on. So a lot of the builds and stuff like that, they're not gonna, like some of the stuff I'm showing you right now. This is not gonna be impressive. No, it is not. So everybody's going to have to step up your game. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. And I'm probably going to do another video on that. And we'll do it like a deep dive into it. But there are a lot of benefits to the new building system. It's going to be able to give people the opportunity who don't have the time to invest in learning all the trickery and stuff like that. They'll be able to build stuff and not have to worry about it, because you can 99% of the crap that you're going to be doing, there's no merging involved anymore. You're not going to have all the Thrasher egg tricks. This build right here, yeah, it's stupid. It is a stone cottage. That is a lot of stones. It took 3 days for me to individually merge every single one of those stones into that. It's a lot of effort. And these legacy builds, they don't mean crap. Not anymore. This is going to be something that anybody is going to be able to easily reproduce and do a way better job. So, again, this stuff's going to have to evolve, because much like that cow, we just got fisted by Bethesda. So, by the way, Bethesda, fantastic job getting our characters to sit on the chairs, man. That was stellar work right there. But I'll get into that in another video. Now, for your top 5. First off, we have 6 Samurai 62. This location is fantastic as far as a maritime theme. And I am honestly surprised that we haven't seen more builders over here at this location. I figured that this was going to be one of the top spots that people were going to be using. So 6 did a really good job on this. Once we get inside, you're going to see that this is a boathouse, and I really like it. But I want you to pay attention too, because we've got a path here, and you are getting the voiceover just from me, unfortunately. Trav had to work. It's the holiday weekend, and you know, being a boss man, that's kind of what you got to do sometimes. And then Cowan, well, we're not talking about Cowan. I mean, we did have him throw himself off of a cliff because he filmed somebody else's camp in advance, and he also filmed somebody's camp in the intermediate. So that leaves me talking to you. Now, this is cool. The way that they had to do this, obviously, they laid out the roof sections and everything. That way they could get far enough over the water to create this scene. I missed it. In that previous scene, there's a ladder going upward to a loft, and that was a really clever idea. Now, Six has really stepped up their game. They slipped in my DMs actually and showed me some pictures of something else that they're working on for their next one, and it's coming out really good. This walkway right here, those are foundations. Yeah, here we go. Good shot of it. Those foundations, and they're slightly under the water, which it gives that appearance that, yeah, we tried damming it up and everything, but it's fallout, everything fails, you know, so the water is kind of leaking in. This is that ladder I was talking about that goes up to the loft area, and then here's the loft itself. This is fantastic, though. This is a very cute camp. This reminds me of some of the stuff that I was doing when I first started learning. You know, it takes a long time to learn these tricks and stuff like that, depending on how you're doing it. Now, for you guys who have joined, you know, the Discord, and you've gotten involved and you're regularly talking to people, that's what this Discord's for. It's a fantastic opportunity for you to get in here. Ask some of these builders, hey, how the heck did you do that? Let them explain their ideas and the processes. That way you can learn it. But in the near future, again, that's not going to be an issue. If everything rolls out like it is on the PTS, yeah, you're not going to be merging or anything like that very often at all. They did a fantastic job lining up the drawers on this cabinetry, by the way. So with that new building system, you will be needing basic merging, but not a lot of it. And it's mainly only for the crafting benches because they still do have collision. This is really cool. I love this build. I love coming across camps like this. I do a lot of roaming around out there in the wasteland. You'd be surprised at how many camps that I visit every week, which, man, I really wish that there were better best builds. Now, LD50, the rad bar. This is freaking cool. I love the way this came out. It's a really, really cool exterior. This front facade of the building looks amazing. This was fantastic. I love how they created well, they're using, you know, with the rad weather and the location, obviously they're in the Toxic Valley, so it does have that really nice ambiance with the weather. And for those of you, if you have Fallout First and you don't have a weather machine, go film your stuff in Custom World, okay? Hint, hint. You can change the weather, stuff like that, if you have Fallout First. So it gives you a lot of different options. And there's some options that we don't really have weather stations for. Nice workbench area. They merged their crafting stuff into some workbenches. Pretty common there, but it's well organized. When you get inside though, this is the cute part. I love the front of this. That's one of my favorite spots, but when we get inside, I'm gonna show you some other ones. This is really nice. They've got Beckett's back there in that little cubby corner. He's over there slinging his booze. What the heck what is Beckett wearing? What did you guys do to Beckett? No, this is cute. I love the Nuka machines. And I knew we were going to get that blue one when they came out with Atlantic City. Now, here's one of my favorite parts, and we were all in awe. Look at that radio. That's fantastic. They've got the alarm clock merged in there, they've got the radio merged in there, plus the record player, plus the alien stash boxes, plus those neon letters for the circles, to simulate, hey, I have speakers here. That was a really creative merge. That is my favorite merge of this camp. But I will tell you, and I'm going to call you out on it, LD. That is a fantastic merge, and I love it. It is slightly off, and this is my OCD. But when you look at the alarm clock and the radio that's merged into the bottom, they're not perfectly centered up. That is something that when this new building system comes in, you guys are going to want to make sure that everything is absolutely pixel perfect straight, because that is what's going to be setting your camps aside from all the others, because basically anybody's going to be able to put anything anywhere, anytime, whatever they want to do. So make sure that you're doing it with precision, unless it's something that's obviously supposed to be crooked. Mechanical Cyborg. Now this one, I love this. Well, watch this. We're going to be sweeping around to the lake side of things, and it's going to show the walkway. This property that they built was really well laid out. But like this little walkway and everything, this creates a really, really pretty scene. And it's super convincing. If you've been to any kind of fishing camps, things like that, you're going to have docks, piers. You got your little boathouse kind of idea, where they've put a roof over it to keep the water out of the boat if it's raining. This is really cute, though. I like it. Now let's go inside. Now this is where more of the magic is going to be happening that you're going to be seeing. There was some trickery on the outside, but not a crazy amount. This little vendor area right here off to our right, it's just well decorated. I love how they've got the cabinets, those countertops, and they raised them up and mounted the fish on there. It looks nice. And that stuff, again, in the future, that is going to be so freaking easy. I'm excited about that. There's a lot of stuff. They do have the radiation machine merged into that stash box right there. It looks very nice. Same thing with this display case. That's a nice way to create like an aquarium effect, Pretty neat. Well, this is pretty well thought out. I like this. It was a very cute build. And the one thing I just noticed, they're using the Enclave pillar there, and it simulates a pipe coming down on the side. Now, Mechanical Cyborg, shame on you. Okay, so what they did, they placed all those items on the right that are floating onto a flat roof and then converted it to an angled roof. That's why everything's floating. But shame on you. Should fix that. This is beautiful. I like the vendor area, They've got the basketballs, everything on that shelf in the back's well lined up. Now this boat, I have not built on this boat yet, so I can't tell you if it's a pain in the butt or if things try to pop up or they're floating, because some of the prefabs and stuff are really, really finicky. Some of them work fine. You can throw whatever you want in them. Some of them are a pain in the arse. But I like how they put this little tiny structure on here. It gives it a good look. And it's nice that whoever would be using the boat would have somewhere to stay. They've got a desk to do some paperwork for the fish or whatever that they're trying to sling out there in the wasteland. Because you still got paperwork in the wasteland. You got to pay them taxes even after everything has ended, I am sure. This is just very well laid out. I mean, look at the dock setup. It looks very convincing, as it would be a natural place that you would be common to see out there in the real world. Very well done. I like it. Definitely a very cute place. I think this one would do good in Bethesda's competition. So, Mechanical Cyborg, I hope that you are entering this. Yeah, they've got the Enclave pillars going down into the water for that roof structure. This is nice. It's just a pleasant place to be. It seems soothing and relaxing, if that makes any sense to you. The Raider cage is attached to the columns, so it looks like it's supporting the roof. That's really well done. That was clever. Very nice job. Very nice job. Couple of floating items, couple of clipping issues, but nothing crazy. But again, in the future, and I'm gonna beat this to death, you guys gotta really start, everything's gotta be done with precision in the future, because it is too easy to build. We have to have something that makes your stuff stand out, and quality is gonna be one of them. And then we've got Hexapotent and the Netflix and Chill with Grandma Junko. Heck yeah. Hexapotent, this is a really fantastic build. There's a couple of these do not belong in the intermediate. This is one of them. And then we also have Stratoblaster. Both of these people are phenomenal builders. I've seen a couple of different videos that they've done. I even looked at some of their older stuff. They're definitely right on the edge there. You guys need to be submitting into that advanced, especially when it goes to relaxed building restrictions. You're definitely going to be in the advanced, because I guarantee you're going to be coming up with all kinds of stuff. I don't know how I'm going to do an intermediate, to be honest with you, because everybody's going to be able to do all this stuff. You know, we're all on equal playing ground. A lot of the trickery and crap that we use, some people use old legacy blueprints, and they get passed down by person to person to person. I try not to build with that stuff, because I don't think it's fair. Not everybody has access to it, and some of the people who do, they're not sharing it. I know a couple people have made videos and things like that on how to make some of the, the more legacy blueprints and things like that, but this isn't stuff that they figured out. They're just regurgitating the stuff that other people have passed down to them. I love the creativity aspect of things, so I try to figure things out on my own whenever possible. Well, this is another well-done camp. Not a ton of crazy merging, but it's just beautifully done. And then Stratoblaster, you crazy SOB. And that is exactly what Trav would say if he was here right now instead of slaving at work. Stratoblaster, you did a phenomenal job. It's very lore friendly. And this is from Trav, not me, okay? His words, not mine. But he absolutely loved how lore friendly this was, how well done it was. It's very clean with the merging, the placement of the items, and that's what I mean, like by placement. Obviously, it's not clean because it's a scrappy pile of crap, and that's what makes it good. But the placement and everything was really precise, and you did a very good job with that. Phenomenal, actually. You do have a floating hay bale back here. The back of that hay bale's floating. Shame on you. I'm calling you out on it, man. I gotta nitpick something, damn it, I mean, you guys would be surprised at how many times that we sit here and watch these videos over and over and over again. And that's the time-consuming part. Anybody can take 5 videos that they pick, slap them in there, do a voiceover. But most people are not going to be taking the time that we're doing to watch it repeatedly to try and see all of the little things and the merges and the intricacies that you guys have created. And it's because it's time consuming. But it's actually something that we enjoy doing. We like picking apart to try and figure out how the heck people did certain things. And this is very well done. This is definitely an advanced camp. But in all fairness, you guys, the last couple weeks, I mean, it's basically like we've had two advanced top fives. It's crazy. I love the radio in that cabinet. That was very cute. And they did sink the TV down in there. This shelf, not mind bending. You know, it's just stuff on a shelf, but everything was done with precision. I'm not seeing anything crazy floating around too much. And you'd be surprised some camps I've walked into and the stuff's seriously floating. The kitchen, I like. It's cluttered up, but not too overly done. It's like that real sense. This is an interesting thing right here. So the chain link fences and everything, it adds an interesting texture, at least in my opinion. And part of that is that you can still see through it. And I like that aspect of it. You're adding a texture, but you can still see through it to see what's behind it in the background, you know. But very well done. I mean, everybody, you guys always kick butt on this stuff. But yeah, this is fantastic. The Stratoblaster, Hexapotent, you guys need to be submitting to that advanced. I know you can do it. I mean, look at your camps. Very good job. Very good job. I like the use of the awning on here to create additional overhead stuff. We don't have a lot of stuff that goes overhead. Obviously, that's going to change when that new building system comes out. If it's the same as it is in the PTS, it'll be the same thing, where we can put things up in the air, float things very easily. This is a nice cluttered work area, but not overly cluttered again. It does feel kind of empty though, because there's nothing in the ceiling. And I'm sure that's because of budget, but you know, it's going to be nice being able to float things up there and be able to place objects. That way you can fill out the space more evenly. That's the bad thing, you know. Sometimes you walk into a place and you see empty spots, and that's not good. This is not one of them places other than that one section of the roof, but fantastic job. I love seeing these. And I have been surprised there's not been a whole lot of actual just clean builds this week. Very well done though. But yeah, I was surprised that we didn't have very many clean builds submitted this week. And I think it's because everybody's doing scrappy stuff for the fishing, and you know how it goes. Excellent job though. And I love it from this angle because of all the different fence textures and everything. It looks like a scrappy pile of crap. And I mean that in a good way. It's definitely fantastic. Highly impressed with everybody's stuff this week. You all did a fantastic job, and I truly appreciate the participation. Very, very well done. So before we get to our winners, we have some honorable mentions. The Coffee Ewookie, I think that's French, or it could be Coffee Ewok, I don't know. We have a Bubble of Doom 22. This was really good. On the very top, those trees are sank into aquariums, and they look really great. And then, of course, if you would like to get murdered in an insane asylum or a hospital, Mrs. Bigfoot has you covered. Now, the moment that you've all been waiting for. And I really do appreciate all the participation. You guys did awesome. In first place, we have Stratoblaster. In second place, we have Hexapotent. Third, LD50. In fourth, we have Mechanical Cyborg. And fifth, last but not least, dun dun, Six Samurai 62. You guys all did a fantastic job as usual. And then, of course, here's my ballot. And that way you guys know who I picked and you can ridicule me for being stupid and all that stuff. But a fantastic job. You know, I really do appreciate the participation that you guys are doing. I love seeing these builds. I hate judging them sometimes because we literally are getting down to the wire because the quality on some of these is so crazy. We're looking for floating items, things that are supposed to be straight, but they're not lined up perfect. I mean, we are nitpicking these things because some of them are just so dang good. So we watch these over and over and over again until we're happy with the results because we do want to be fair as possible. But fantastic job. And this week coming up, if you guys haven't seen, you need to get your asses up in the Discord and see what the heck Lady H had submitted because she is swinging for the fences this week. I mean, she is going all out. It's insane. So good luck to you all. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one.
Yeah.